Okay, so I have my face makeup generally done, I think. And then I'm just gonna go into the eyes. So I'm going to start by showing you guys the palette. Sorry, you're gonna be getting a lot of glare from the window, but this is it. Ta-da! It's really amazing. Oh, it's so pretty. This is going to be the first time that I'm applying this, so I'm not even sure what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of dig in and see how it goes. We're going to go out and play some pinball, so it has to be a pinball appropriate look. I'm not really sure exactly what is a pinball appropriate look, but I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Okay, so I've just primed my eyes with MAC's Paint Pot in Painterly. And I'm just going to go in with a Sephora shader brush, and I'm going to take, that lightest shade and just kind of pat it all over, just so that all the other colors will blend really nicely and nothing's going to stick or tug. Just make sure those paint pots set to a really nice dry kind of powder finish, but this is just going to help make sure that everything blends well. It might shear out some of the color, so we'll see. From what I've seen so far about this palette is that it is incredibly blendable anyway, and it's very, very soft, but just to be sure. Okay, so I'm just going to start by applying a transition shade just into and above the crease. And I'm going to go with that warmer. There's those two kind of mid-tone shades. There's a warmer one and a cooler one. I'm going to go with that warmer shade. And I'm just using a MAC 217, so I'm just going to tap it in there, and oh my gosh, whew, that picks up a lot of product. That shade's a tiny bit powdery, but oh my gosh, it's blending amazingly. Like I'm putting no pressure whatsoever on the brush, and it's just it's applying really nicely and evenly. Oh, that brush actually, I don't think this brush has ever shed a hair on me. And there's one. Okay, that is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm gonna go back in, just gonna tap off my brush just in case, because that shadow is ridiculously soft. I'm just gonna really, really, really soften that out, just into the crease and almost all the way up to the lash line. This is gonna be kind of just my typical neutral eye look, just to kind of see how these colors blend and how they work with my skin tone. So that's just transition shade. A little bit of, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, a little bit of powder kicked up there, but nothing too crazy. I'm just going to take another fluffy Sephora shader brush, and I'm going to go with the only shimmery color that's in the palette, that one right in the center. It's a shimmery bronze, which is one of my favorite types of shades, and I'm just going to pat that starting on the outer part of my lid and just work it in towards the center, concentrating most of the color around the outer corner. And I'm going to put it just up to the crease. Now if you used a brush that was more for packing color on, so a flat shader instead of a fluffy one like this, you probably could get it to leave more of a metallic kind of finish, if that's what you were going for, because it does have quite a bit of shine to it. And that too is applying really, really nicely and evenly. I'm going to take that darkest color just up in the corner there, the one that it has the least amount, which I kind of like because I really rarely do really dark or smoky kind of eye looks, so I wouldn't need as much of that shade as I do of the other ones. And actually, just looking at the palette, you'll see it's not individual pans, it's all the colors are kind of just put in there together, and they're separate, they're easy to, each size is good enough that you can get a brush easily in there. Once I really start to use this, you might start to get the separation between them, might start to get muddier, it might be harder to keep the shades apart from each other. That's a little bit bothersome. But I do like that, unlike your typical 4 or 5 color palette, rather than having the separate pans and having everything be the same size, I would use those 3 shades the most and that one the least. So it's kind of nice that the sizes of the colors are a little bit different. And I'm just going to go back with the 217. I just barely touched it in that darkest shade, and look at what it's picked up. And I probably should have used, oh, that's really nice. All I'm doing is just going the outer V a little bit, just to add a little bit more definition. I really should have used a slimmer brush for this, so rather than a big fluffy 217, so I'm just going to be kind of careful about how I'm applying that. And so far, I mean, I'm being kind of careful, I'm not applying any of the colors too heavily, but so far I haven't had any fallout at all, even though these shades are really soft. And sorry, I should kind of move quickly. I'm gonna lose my lighting here very fast. So hopefully you can still at least see how everything's applying. So far I'm really happy with that. I'm just gonna go in with a slimmer fluffy blending brush, a clean one. This is also from Sephora, and I'm just gonna blur the edges of that darker shade that I put into the crease, and I'm just going to pull it up a little bit on the far outer corner. Now I'm going to go back with that Sephora shader again. I'm going to try and use all the colors. I don't, for this look, I really feel like you could just either use the warmer shade or the cooler shade as a transition. You might not necessarily need both. I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of that, just really for the sake of seeing how it applies. And I'm just going to use that to blend out the shimmer color towards the inner corner. And really, like, with almost no work at all, these colors are blending amazingly well. And then I'm going to go back again with that lightest color, and I'm just going to brighten up the inner part of the lid a tiny bit. That's really nice. And then I'm just going to go up with a little tiny bit more at the brow, just to add a bit more highlight there. And that lightest color makes a really nice matte brow highlight, I think. Yeah, I think that's really nice. I'm just going to go and just use that to clean up that outer edge a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take a Real Techniques, I always forget what this is called, accent brush. Just a really tiny little fluffy guy, and I'm going to use that on the lower lid. I'm going to use that shimmery shade. Oops. There we go. And then I'm just going to draw that up a little bit from there. I'm going to use that fluffy blending brush again. I was thinking of using a liquid kind of coppery colored eyeliner with this I think will look really nice, and I'm just going to do a really thin line along the lash line. But first, I think what I'm going to do is just a little bit more of a smoky line along. I'm going to go back with that definer brush or accent brush, and I'm just going to pick up a bit of that really dark shade, and just using the more narrow edge of the brush, I'm just going to run it along the top half of the upper lash line. Just to get some softer definition. Just like that. That's where I'm starting. So just a little inwards of the center of my lid, and then just pulling it out. And then I'm going to go in with that, what's this called? The NYX Studio Liquid Liner. I love these liners. They've got like a pin thin little brush on them, but when it gets, if you are trying to keep it really close to the lash line, when it gets into the lashes, it kind of dries, and it makes the mascara application a little bit difficult to really separate the lashes. It gets kind of stuck in there. So just keep a good spoolie handy so that you can separate those out before the liner sets. So sorry, I'm going to have to lean in really close to my mirror. So there, that just applies really nice and precisely. I'm going to go in with the spoolie, just comb out anything that's gotten stuck in the lashes. So same thing on the other eye. Okay, so now I just want my favorite Clinique Black Honey. This is the Twist Up Quick Liner Intense. I'm just going to line my inner waterline with that, lower waterline with that. I always say inner waterline. And then I'm really just smudging that into the lash line. And that color blends really nicely with the shimmery color from the Hourglass palette. I'm going to put on some mascara and just a little bit of brow powder, and then set them, and I'll see you in a minute just for the kind of final look. I'm going to go do my hair and stuff as well. I'm just going to do all that stuff off camera, and then I'll see you back through the magic of video. Okay. Sorry, I've just moved into my bathroom so that I can use the light that's coming, that's just over the mirror, because it got dark really fast. Except now that light is really washing me out, so I hope that you can at least get a good idea of what the eye look turned out like. Just to give you a good look at how it turned out. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I like it. It's just kind of like a smoky, bronzy, warm look, which is sort of one of my go-to looks anyways. But the shadows applied so nicely, really soft, smooth, great pigmentation, blended amazingly well. There's enough, I'm not sure if you can really see it all that well, but there's enough color separation that you've got nice dimension on the lid, but everything blends really nice and seamlessly together. I'm really happy with it. I got my palette online from Barney's website, and it was released initially as a Barney's exclusive at the very end of October, but they got it back in stock, and Hourglass has been doing a lot of that kind of forced scarcity, releasing things in limited amounts just to, I think, get the hype going. From this point on, I think it's going to be quite easily available. But Sephora in January is what I heard, and then I also heard that they are going to be releasing 4 other palettes in different colors, so there will be 5 in total. I have no idea, I haven't heard anything, or I haven't been able to find any information online about shades of the palettes and that sort of thing. But my first impression, just using it for the first time, I'm really happy. So thanks so much for watching, and leave any comments you have down below if you have this palette and you have any comments about it or your opinion about it, or if you're thinking about getting it. I'd love to hear your thoughts or your thoughts on the look, and thanks again so much for watching. Bye!